Am I the asshole for giving my girlfriend an ultimatum about her male best friend? I, 28 male, have been dating my girlfriend Sarah, 26 female, for just over a year now. And while I love her, there's one thing that's been eating at me since the very beginning. Her relationship with her male best friend, Jake, 27 male. Jake has been Sarah's ride or die since college, and I knew from the start that they were close. But what I didn't realize was how much it would impact our relationship. I've always tried to be the chill, trusting boyfriend, as I don't want to be the guy who's threatened by a platonic friendship. But honestly, it's gotten to the point where I feel like I'm the third wheel in my own relationship. Jake and Sarah are practically inseparable. They hang out multiple times a week, having dinners, movie nights, spontaneous late-night drives, and I'm usually not even invited. If I try to join, it's awkward, like I'm crashing their private joke-filled world that I'm not a part of. It stings, but I tried to let it go for the sake of keeping the peace. But then things started to cross a line. Jake texts her constantly, even when we're together on dates. It's not just casual stuff either. He calls her babe and sweetheart, and when I brought this up to Sarah, she laughed and said that it was just their thing, and that it didn't mean anything. Apparently, they've been calling each other that for years. But to me, it feels like there's more to it. Who calls their best friend babe when they're in a relationship? Then there was the night that I stayed over at her place and woke up at 2 a.m. to find Sarah on FaceTime with Jake. She was giggling like a schoolgirl, whispering so she wouldn't wake me. When I asked her about it the next morning, she brushed it off, saying Jake needed someone to talk to. But what about me? Am I just here as background noise while she stays emotionally tethered to this guy? The final straw came last weekend. Sarah and I had been planning a special weekend getaway for our 1-year anniversary, something we'd been looking forward to for months. But out of nowhere, Jake invites her to a concert the same weekend. Sarah asked me if we could postpone our anniversary trip so that we could go with Jake instead, because it's a band they both absolutely love. I was floored. Our anniversary, something we'd been planning for months, could be just rescheduled for Jake? It was like I didn't even matter. I told her that this was too much and asked her to set clear boundaries with Jake, like no more pet names, no more hanging out one-on-one all the time, and definitely no more prioritizing him over our relationship. She blew up at me, calling me controlling and insecure. She even said, "You knew that Jake was a part of my life when we started dating. Why are you trying to change me now?" Things got worse when Jake apparently told her that I was being toxic and trying to manipulate her. Sarah is siding with him, saying that I'm overreacting and that nothing has ever happened between them. She's now furious with me for giving her an ultimatum when all I really asked for were some boundaries that would make me feel like I'm her boyfriend, not just a side character in her life with Jake. Now, Sarah's giving me this silent treatment, and I'm starting to feel like I've somehow become the villain in my own relationship. Am I losing my mind here? I'm not asking her to drop Jake completely, just to prioritize us and respect our relationship. But maybe I've been unreasonable. So Reddit, am I the asshole for asking my girlfriend to set boundaries with her male best friend? Or is this friendship way too close for comfort? I think everyone's just going to tell you here to just end the relationship. You're being disrespected to your face in real time. If she's done this already, she doesn't respect the relationship, and you asking for clear communication in this situation is not going to make her change her mind. That's what I believe. You can delude yourself otherwise if you would like to try and salvage this relationship, but I don't think you're in a relationship with this girl anymore. Let Jake have her. You go find someone that actually respects you. If she's going to do this to you with Jake, she's going to do this to Jake with someone else. You will be saving yourself a lot of time and a lot of heartbreak if you just cut the cord now and run. Iggy582 says, do everyone a favor and end this thing now. You'll be doing Sarah a favor. She can have Jake, and you will be doing Jake a favor. He can have Sarah. Most of all, though, you will be doing yourself a huge favor because you can find someone who sees you as her ride or die and someone who is actually loyal to you because, after all, loyalty is the single most important factor in a friendship. Not being nice or liking the same things. Sarah does not believe that she needs to be loyal to you. You know how I know? We can only truly know what we believe versus what we think we believe by watching how we act. Her actions speak volumes. The Brittany Seaman says, I suspect Jake is her moon that she doesn't want to settle on, but doesn't want to let go for the attention that he gives her. Otherwise, why aren't they together if they've been ride or die since college? OP also doesn't mention Jake's status, but I'ma say single because he's waiting for her to see the light. You Must Be Jokin' says, not the asshole. First point, Jake can have an opinion, but that's not relevant to your relationship. Honestly, it sounds like they are dating. I think you giving an ultimatum was never going to end well for you. Honestly, you know that he's her number one priority. Even if she doesn't say it in words, she declares it in all of her actions. I think fundamentally, Jake is the third person in your relationship and he will always win. If you can handle that, stay. If not, go find your ride or die person. Life is too short to be uncomfortable and frustrated in your romantic relationship after a year. OP comes back pretty quickly with an update and says, hey Reddit, I'm back with an update, and let me just say, it didn't turn out how I expected at all. I first want to thank you all for the amazing support that you have all given me. After reading over the comments and talking to some of you guys, I have made up my mind. I was done being second place in my own relationship, and I was ready to walk away. But what happened next surprised me. Saturday night, Sarah came over to talk. I was prepared to have the breakup conversation, but before I could get a word in, she told me something unexpected. She had cancelled the concert plans with Jake. She said that after our last conversation, she realized how serious I was, and it made her think about everything. She told me she had been selfish, that she had been taking our relationship for granted. She said she'd told Jake that she couldn't go to the concert, and instead, she wanted to spend the weekend with me. No distractions, no third wheels, just us. I was honestly shocked. Part of me didn't believe it. For months, I had been asking her to set boundaries with Jake, and suddenly she was doing it? It felt surreal, like a last-minute effort to save something that was already broken. But she seemed sincere. She apologized not just for the concert situation, but for all the times that she had ignored my feelings, dismissed my concerns, and prioritized Jake over us. She admitted that she had been blind to how much it hurt me and said that she didn't want to lose me. It was emotional, she was crying, and I could see how much it scared her that I was about to walk away. For the first time in a long time, it felt like she was choosing me. But here's the thing. As much as I appreciated her apology, it didn't magically fix everything. I told her that while cancelling the concert was a good step, it didn't erase all the hurts. I still felt like I had been competing with Jake for too long, and trust once broken is hard to rebuild. We ended up spending the weekend together as planned. We didn't go on the big anniversary trip, but we stayed in, cooked together, and had long conversations about everything. Our relationship, Jake, the future. It was a roller coaster of emotions. There were moments where I felt like maybe we could make this work, but also moments where the damage felt too deep to repair. By today, I was emotionally drained. Sarah seemed to think that things were heading in the right direction, but I still wasn't sure. I needed space to think. So I told her that we should break up, give each other some time to reflect, and see if this relationship was something we both wanted to fight for. She didn't take it well. She cried again, begged me not to, said she'd prove to me that she was serious about changing, but I needed to be alone to clear my head without the constant push and pull of emotions. So I left. I haven't spoken to her since. We agreed to give it a couple of weeks before we decide anything, but to be honest, I'm still leaning toward ending things for good. Could she really have set boundaries with Jake after everything? I find this hard to believe after months of me begging. I feel like I've already checked out of the relationship, and while her efforts are appreciated, I can't shake the feeling that it's too little too late. I've always cared about Sarah, but this whole situation has made me realize how important it is to be with someone who values and respects you from the beginning. Someone who doesn't make you feel like you have to compete for their attention. You all think she might have cheated on me with Jake, so Reddit, I ask, should I give her another chance, or should I go through with the breakup? Electrical Baker says, should you give her another chance or should you walk away? It's a question only you could answer. What is your gut telling you? Do you feel like she was being sincere? Did you ask her if she cheated on you with Jake? What I'm also curious about is what happened between her and Jake after your last discussion. I don't mean did they have sex. No, I mean did they talk about the situation? Did he shoot his shot to win her over and she rejected him and maybe see the situation for what it is? Some suggested that maybe she wanted to have a relationship with him, but he refuses to settle down. I reread the original post. Talking to him at 2 a.m. in the morning while you're asleep, late night drives, going to dinners and movies, while she's in a relationship with you. That is really weird and very suspicious. I'm curious, did she come over on her own accord, or did you ask her to come over to talk? If she came on her own, then that's a big plus. I think you have a good idea about taking a break. If it were me, I don't know. After the break, you have to see how you feel about her. Also, what happens to Jake in all of this? Is she going to part ways with him, or is he still going to be in the background? I think I would tell her that Jake has to go. Point out that he told her that you were being toxic and you don't trust him. Please keep us updated on what you decide. College Prestige says, I suspect one of Jake or Sarah wants to be in a relationship with each other and the other doesn't. The question is, who is the one that doesn't want it? And Haystack replies, this is genuinely such an astute takeaway. I couldn't quite register to myself why I felt so ambivalent about Sarah. My money's on Jake being the more destructive force. I would never encourage anger and upset in a friend unless I wanted them to act on it. OP might be over or under critical of both individuals, but there is no excuse for Jake tempering discontent in someone else's relationship. My money's on Jake being the one that doesn't actually want to be in a relationship. I feel like maybe Jake just wants sex. Either way, Jake and Sarah both enjoy the games that they're playing together, but at least Sarah has the self-awareness to be like, you know what, I'm gonna put the foot on the brake a little bit here. I know I'm doing too much. I'm sad to see OP being caught up in the do I leave, do I stay kind of questioning of themselves here. From the start, this should have just been, your relationship with Jake is unacceptable. I'm not gonna stand for this. I'm out. I can see why he did the ultimatum, but please, when you're in situations like this, you just cut your losses and run. It's not worth it. Anyway, am I being stupid here? Am I not seeing it from the right perspective? Let me know down in the comments below. With that said, let's go to the next story. This one's posted by a deleted account and is titled, I'm breaking up with my boyfriend of 2 years because of a TikTok comment. I feel so icky. So we've been together since I was 16 and he was 17. My friend sent me a link to this TikTok of these two guys talking about how one of them cheated on his girlfriend, she cheated on him after finding out, instead of working to fix the relationship, quote unquote. The man in the video said that it was his biggest heartbreak because while his one-night stand meant nothing to him, she slept with one of his ex-friends who she had a crush on before they got together. The video said that it's a woman's duty to be nurturing and forgiving in a relationship, and that women have to understand that certain men just aren't monogamous. Most normal individual. My friend sent it to me and said, I cannot believe how out of touch these men are, and after watching the TikTok, I decided to read the comments. The first one I see is my boyfriend tagging 2 mutual friends of ours and saying, women, with a T emoji. Oh, hell nah. One of our friends responded to the comment and said, females are so dramatic, and my boyfriend responded, agreeing to him. I feel sick. I thought that we had the same views on things like this. He was raised by a single teen mum who worked 3 jobs to keep a roof over his head, food in his mouth, and allow him to play soccer despite their tight budget and expensive Little League fees. When we first started dating, I asked him who his role model was, and he said his mum. He went on and on about how strong and brave she is, and how much he appreciates her for all she does for him. His mum was single and living alone at 17 because my boyfriend's father cheated on her after she gave birth and was recovering because he can't be expected to just not have sex for 8 weeks. I'm just upset? I don't know. I'm at school right now typing this out in one of the bathroom stalls because I just can't keep this to myself anymore. I'm disgusted with him. He texted me earlier this morning asking if I want to hang out after school, and I said yes. I'm gonna break up with him and tell him why. Edit to add, he has commented under almost every post this account has made, agreeing with all of their misogynistic views. He thinks that girlfriends and wives are property of the men that they are with. Edit 2, I'm not just going to show up at his house and say, "We're done," and leave. I'm going to tell him what I saw, and if there is no explanation for it, I don't know what the hell kind of justification there is for the shit that he said, but we'll see, then I'll break up with him. I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt as much as I can. I don't know why some of y'all think that I'm just going to say, "We're over," with no explanation or discussion. I don't know why you're wasting your time, OP. You guys are both still in school, or by the sounds of it, he's just out of school. This is normal, just stupid, brainless shittery from someone in your age range, so it's to be expected that he hasn't got a fully developed frontal lobe. Neither do you, but at least you're not saying stupid shit like he is online. You're not going to get a good justification from him. I don't think he's capable of thinking of one at this point yet. So it's going to be interesting to see what you do, but hey, not worth sticking in this relationship if you want a sane individual as your partner. Back up to the post, there is a mini update. Y'all, okay, so in a short amount of time from my last comment to now, shit hit the fan. Oh, did it? I believe you. I made my last comment from my car and then started driving back home to hopefully try and get my shit together before he gets off of work in 20 minutes. His mother called me while I was in the car. Literally, as I'm driving 2 minutes away from my house, she calls me to ask me what side I want her to make for Thanksgiving. She's a literal angel, what the hell? And I tried to keep it together as best as I could. I guess she could hear that I was upset because she said in her mum voice, "Aw, what's wrong, beautiful?" And I started sobbing. Like so bad that I had to pull over at the entrance of my neighborhood, and I told her the bare minimum of what I'd seen, as much as I could through a shit ton of snot and tears. And she was just dead silent for like 20 seconds. And I swear my heart fell out of my asshole. What? Who says that? What? Man, I felt so bad my heart literally fell out of my asshole. She said, "Honey, he's not at work right now." And I damn near died. Get this, y'all. Her best friend owns a bunch of apartment complexes. Like luxury, nice apartments. Like the 3.5K a month kind. This mother effer is viewing an apartment to surprise me with when I graduate. His mum said her friend offered one of her apartments to my boyfriend for a dirt cheap price, and he's planning to get all the papers signed and surprise me with it on Valentine's Day, since the current tenant, the friend's oldest daughter, is moving into a house with her wife and their lease ends on February the 1st. His mum's coming over to look at the screenshots that I have, then she's taking me back to their house to confront him. She's literally the sweetest, you guys. She said she wanted to be in the house when I talked to him just in case. Currently sitting right inside the front door of my house, taking the 8 minutes in between their house and mine to type this out. I'm in shock. I'm just waiting for her to pull up, so I'll update as soon as I can. I don't think I'm that sad anymore. I'm just pissed off and confused as hell. And now on to the updates. First things first, I see a lot of people thinking the apartment changes things. It does not. My wording was off, and I apologize. When I said I wasn't sad anymore, I meant no longer was grieving our relationship. I was angry at him. The apartment was never going to make me stay with him. Second, also about the apartment, it's 3.5K for a 1-bedroom. His mum said he was looking at a 3-bedroom, which would have been our room and then an office for each of us. We would have been paying maybe 1K a month for what's usually 5.8K monthly apartments. I only brought up this price because he graduated high school last year, is not in college, he works a good job though, and I'm still in high school. We spoke briefly about getting an apartment in that complex once we're on our feet financially. I should have included that in the previous post, because while his mum's friend owns cheaper apartments, he was getting the one that we both deemed our dream. I don't know what to feel right now. I just can't make sense of anything at the moment, so this update might be messy and all over the place. Now on to the update, I guess. The talk. I got to his house and immediately showed him the screenshots. I asked him what the hell they were and told him I was disgusted with him. I could literally see the color drain from his face. Kinda shocking. He started talking really fast, and after like 45 seconds of rushed explanation, he just stopped. He stopped talking for a minute or two and just stared at the floor. This pissed me off so damn bad, so I got up to leave. He grabbed my hand and told me he could explain everything. He handed me his phone and told me to open his Discord and click on one specific server. Y'all, I kinda just stared at him because, what the hell? Anyways, he explained to me that one of the two guys he was tagging in these posts was a chauvinist, and him and a few other people were gathering evidence to send to the dude's girlfriend. I did not believe him at all. Then this guy opens his laptop and pulls up one of those group Google Doc things, and it goes back like a month and a half. Him and some friends had noticed some weird behavior from the dude and decided to warn his girlfriend. But the problem is, she's naive, and they thought she wouldn't believe them without evidence. The doc had links to every TikTok they'd all commented on, screenshots of all their comments, and screenshots from the Discord of them deciding what TikTok to comment on and what to say. The comments he made. On the Discord server, someone sent a screenshot of a private message from the guy, Dean, they were gathering evidence about, basically saying he didn't trust my boyfriend because my boyfriend never said anything negative about me. So, the other mutual, let's call him Lucas, he tagged in the videos, came up with the genius idea that my boyfriend should talk shit about me publicly and call me his bitch and his property to gain the dude's trust. Literally, what the hell? I told my boyfriend that even if this was a setup for the dude, what he said about me was unacceptable and downright effing disgusting. He agreed wholeheartedly and showed me the part of their conversation where my boyfriend refused to say the things that Lucas told him to, even after Lucas told my boyfriend that Dean didn't trust him. My boyfriend's brilliant solution? Give Lucas his TikTok password so Lucas could just do it. I saw in the server that my boyfriend did give Lucas his password, and Lucas even sent a screenshot of the first comment right after he made it. For the past week and a half, that's when the first comment about me was posted, Lucas had been in my boyfriend's TikTok. At this point, boyfriend was in tears and told me he was so sorry and would leave the Discord, block Lucas, and never talk to him again. He even said he would delete TikTok and let me set up parental settings on his phone to ensure he doesn't download it again. I said no to everything except him leaving the Discord and not participating in the doc anymore. On me telling him I know about the apartment/the aftermath, I basically just told him that I know, and due to all of this, I won't be moving in with him. He was upset that the surprise was ruined for me, but said he understands. He told me that he will respect my wishes and wouldn't move forward with getting the apartment. He brought up couples therapy and said that he would go to individual therapy as well. He also offered to message Lucas and tell him off. In his notes app, there's like 3 paragraphs written already. Apparently after the one comment Lucas made about cheating on me, boyfriend was trying to find a way to end whatever it was they were doing. I told him that I would go to couples therapy if, and only if, he 1. Did individual therapy for a month or a bit more, weekly appointments, and when his therapist suggests I come in for a session with them, says that they think he's learned from this. 2. Messages Lucas in front of me, and 3. Never pulls any shit like this again. I did say that maybe it's not best we be together in between now and when he feels as though he's had enough individual therapy to be ready for couples therapy. He got very emotional and said that while he understands and respects what I want, he loves me and doesn't want us to end. He told me to take all the space I need, but asked me to not count this as a breakup. He said he still wanted to be able to call himself my boyfriend. I'm pissed as hell at him, but the way he phrased it was so cute. I told him okay, no break up, but definitely a break. Ground rules for the break. He brought ground rules up first. He told me that they don't have to be for me, but he wants to show me he's sorry and prove that he doesn't agree with what Lucas said at all. His solution, give me rules to follow and I will. Every day until I've made this up to you. 1. No contact with Dean. 2. This is not a Ross and Rachel situation. No dating, flirting, or sleeping with anyone else. 3. Apologize to his damn mother. 4. Texting is okay, but not like we did before this. No texting multiple times an hour. No talking just to talk. Checking in, good morning, and good night texts are okay. He came up with 1, 2, and 4. I told him to apologize to his mum for almost making her pop a blood vessel in the Dairy Queen parking lot. On Lucas, he texted Lucas in front of me, basically just copy and pasted a message he was already planning to send, but he added some things. The gist of it is, I can't believe I went along with this. I can't believe I let you say that shit about my girlfriend. Why the hell would you even think of her that way? Don't ever talk to either of us again. Then he blocked him. He blocked Dean as well, not before calling him out and sending the doc link to him and Dean's girlfriend, as per my request. On the Kraken, my boyfriend's mum, they're talking right now. She's pissed. She was in the room next to the one that we were in, so she heard most of what was said. He's showing her the screenshots of the Discord and the messages he sent Dean and Lucas. When we first got here, I had to convince her to let me talk to him first. She was gonna beat his ass. I saw some comments briefly about it being weird that she wanted to be in the house, just in case, so let me explain. Boyfriend's father was abusive. That's the short story. The long story is that he said a lot of the things that were in the screenshots, and when she would talk to him about it, he would hit her. My boyfriend has never been violent with me or anyone. Mama Bear was just applying her past into the present situation because she didn't want me to go through what she did. On Thanksgiving, boyfriend said that he wanted me here for Thanksgiving. He said he'd be in his room the whole time so I could spend the holiday with his mum and her friends. I said no. He should be able to spend the holiday with his family. He asked me if I'd come for his mum, and I said I'd think about it. I think that's everything. I don't know how I feel right now. I'm tired and overwhelmed. I'll be going to individual therapy as well. I'm waiting until boyfriend and his mum get done talking so she can take me home, and then I'll probably sleep for 12 hours. Thank you for the support. It kept me sane. Everything today happened so damn fast that my head is spinning. These past 5 hours have felt like 50. OP adds info in the comments. I'm not mad at him for the comments anymore. The break is gonna last like a day or two max. I need time to calm down. A few hours ago, I thought my boyfriend thought of me as his property. He suggested therapy, individual and couples. We've been friends since the 3rd grade, been in love since the 6th, and we both want to make this work. The comments I made about his mum kicking his ass were metaphorical, not literal. She's currently giving him a stern talking to about how his actions, even if they have good intents, can hurt others without him intending them to. I suggested the break because I wasn't sure if he was wanting therapy just for me. He's spoken to me before about his issues with anxiety and depression. I wanted him to seek help for him, not me. He knows about the post. He doesn't care that I posted on here. He has the link and will be reading everything tonight. On the friendship with Lucas, he wasn't trying to get me to forget everything and just move on. He's been wanting to unfriend Lucas since the first comment was made. As for the Thanksgiving thing, he knows how much I love his mom and how much she loves me. I know it's strange, but I didn't explain it very well in the post. I was, and still am, trying to calm down and organize my thoughts. On the comments itself, OP says, seeing my boyfriend's TikTok account comment, gonna use this tactic on my bitch, gotta keep her in line. Paraphrased, as I cannot be bothered to look at the screenshots again, they make me sick, was sickening. I don't feel like I overreacted. I'm not mad at him anymore. I'm pissed in general, mostly at Lucas and a little bit at Dean. I'm still trying to sort out my emotions. I agree that he was doing what he thought was right. I just wish that he told me, hey, please ignore these comments because XYZ. That was an emotional rollercoaster, OP. Thank you for sharing that with us. I'm glad that you stayed with him. It's going to be really sick when you guys fix this relationship together and he doesn't do that again because he's going to learn his lesson. It's really cool that he agreed to do these things in the first place because that was definitely something that was going to work and show that his friend was a chauvinist and they were going to save the day. Looking forward to that update that is not coming in the future, OP, because that was a very sane thing for you to do. So thank you for the story. What did you guys think of this one down below? Let me know in the comments, huh? Now let's go right into our next story. This story is posted by user Stopping Me All Day, titled, Someone opened a credit card in my name and ran up a $6,000 bill. My mom told me just to ignore it, but it turns out she was the one who opened it. I'm looking for my next steps here, as I'm still in college and 3 hours away from home. Long story short, I applied for a job for my last year of school which required a background check. When I found out that I didn't get the job a couple of weeks ago, I wasn't too shocked, as I'm sure a lot of people applied for the spots. But what did shock me was when I got a letter on Tuesday from the employer which said information in my credit may have been used against me. It then listed a charged-off account and multiple missed payments on an account. I've never been even a day late in my life for the one credit card that I've had since I was 18. When I went to pull my credits, I saw the charged-off account, which looks like it was last updated in June. Immediately, I figured my credit card had been stolen and I called my mum. She said if I didn't open the account, just ignore it, and if I get sued, tell the judge an unknown person stole my identity. That didn't make any sense to me, as anyone could say that about anything whenever they get sued. When I told her that I was probably going to talk to the cops about it, she said I wouldn't want those people in my life. My roommate said it sounded like my mum opened the account and doesn't want to get in trouble for it. I was able to speak with someone in the fraud department for the card, and they got me some information about it. Several cash advances from an ATM about a block from my mum's house, along with a couple of stores in my hometown. I told my mum all of that, and I asked her to come clean. She refused and got mad at me for accusing her of stealing my identity. Finally, I told her that I'm going to the police about it, and she blew a gasket, saying she needed the money and to mind my business. She said that I can't call the police because they might revoke her probation, felony battery charges from last year, and she might end up doing time in county. I can't really sacrifice my future in this case, and while I love my mum, I'm devastated that she would do this to me. I think I should go to the cops, but I'm feeling some guilt about it. Ah yes, the age-old, yeah, I know I committed a crime against you, and I stole from you to your face and then I lied to you about it, and I'm only sorry because I got caught, but you shouldn't make me face the consequences of my actions because, I might go to jail because I'm on probation for felony battery charges. Oh my god. At this point, she deserves to go in there for that because what's going on? She needs to go learn her lesson, OP. The alternative to this situation is somehow magically coming up with enough money to pay that credit off, but then still having the strikes against you and, having her probably steal from you again like this? There is no good alternative here. Get her ass in jail. Better call Saul. Vorwal says, the utter balls of someone wrecking your credit and then telling you to mind your business when you try to hold them to account for it? DCA Mum says, it cost OP a job and credit history already. Definitely their business. OK Management says, your mum wants you to care more about her current and future situation than she cares about yours. That is not okay. File that police report and get your life settled. She's a grown-ass adult who can settle her own life, and should be doing it without dragging her own children down. Over it but what the hell says, and it is your business, OP. It's your future, and your mum is an effing bitch for doing this to you. Stop protecting the one person who always should have had your back, but stole from you instead. And OP says, that's what I plan on doing. And not long after, OP comes back with an update and says, I ended up filing a police report for identity theft. The day after I did it, I got a call from an investigator, and we talked for about 20 minutes. We also talked a little about the job that I applied for, which is federal, and he said their background investigator would definitely be pulling his report for the identity theft. Because of that, I decided to go through with the charges. Last week, the investigator called me back to confirm that I would be willing to testify against my mother, though he didn't think that it would come to that, and would likely end with a plea. I told him I would. Yesterday, my mum got arrested on her way home from work. She has an initial appearance this afternoon, but on her previous felony, it looks like a petition to revoke has been filed with a date later this month. I feel like she's gonna snap like she's never snapped before on me when she gets out. Probably later today. I don't plan on answering the phone. Robulus says, a mother should never do this to their own child. Someone who would do this probably won't learn accountability through this. So just know you did the right thing and you are the victim here. Beaushaw says, As a decent human being and a parent, this boggles my mind. How messed up do you have to be to do this to your kid? That and how on earth do you think you will not get caught? Yeah, I get some people are trash and are fine with stealing, but how could you do it to your own kid? And yet, every single case of identity theft that has crossed my desk has been a family member, and most are parents, usually mothers. And Rain Shoddy replies, "My mum did this to me. Knowing what I know now, I assumed that she thought that it was free money to get her through, and I wouldn't need credit for a while, so she'd fix it before it was a problem. I found it and made her pay it off the same week. She taught me nothing about money because she obviously was clueless, so my credit wasn't great anyway, and I didn't know that I should do anything else, so she got away with it. It's fine now. We haven't spoken for a decade because she won't ever change, and I'm over it. I would never do that to my own kids." Last comment syndrome coming in, but the I would never do that to my own kids. I think of a lot of interactions that I see both from my own personal experience and from watching other parents with their kids, and I'm like, how can you do that to your kids? Like, some of the punishments I've seen are just insane and barbaric, and I'm like, that's a human that you are going to traumatize. What's going on with you people? Where is your brain? Where is your empathy? But bringing it back, that's very much what this situation is about as well. Why would you take out credits in your kid's name and tank their history like that and then not learn from your... Like, there is no planning. There is only me. It's about me and how I feel in my situation. How can I scam others to make my situation better temporarily, in which I will just sink this ship again? I'm a crab in a bucket and I'm going to drag everyone down with me. Like, I don't blame people for cutting off their parents for doing this to them. If you have the self-awareness of being like, they're the problem, they're not going to change, you shouldn't subject yourself to these people. You should just cut your losses and run. Anyway, that's my point of view in this situation. I'd love to know yours. Let me know down in the comments below. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. Thank you for sticking around to the end. I love your faces, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.